I remember about, I don't know, maybe about 8 or so years ago when I was really, really deep into boxing. I used to get like messages from a lot of people, a lot of boxing fans from all over the world before I became notoriously difficult to get in touch with. But anyway, somebody was telling me that Zurdo Ramirez, Gilberto Ramirez, the current WBA, WBO Cruiserweight champion, used to be really, really into the streets down there in Mexico. I'm talking about, you see him now, you listen to him, like the guy's got a heart of gold. But I heard some things. But anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360 on June the 28th in Cali. The Honda. Where's the? I know I've heard of that. What did it used to be called? Something else in Anaheim. But anyway, he's going to be taking on Uniel Dorticos. Dorticos was a former participant in the World Boxing Super Series. The guy's got some power. However, he's older now. The World Boxing Super Series was what, a half a decade ago. But it's going to be a nice, solid fight. And also, he's the mandatory for the WBA. Now, let me lay out the landscape for you. Gilberto Ramirez has the WBO, WBA Golden Boy fighter. However, he has fought on Turkey Al Sheikh cards. Do I see a Riyadh season on there somewhere? No, this is just MVP Golden Boy. Well, anyway, you have Badou Jack, who's going to be taking on Noel McCallion next week on the undercard of Canelo versus William Skull in Saudi Arabia on the Zone. You have Jayo Pataya, who's going to be returning here. Let me pull up the fighters here. I keep forgetting the date that Jayo Pataya is returning. Me and my colleague Big J did a full Australian boxing podcast that you can go watch if you want to know what's going on with Jayo Pataya. So, Pataya, let's see, returns. That's going to be June the 8th, yeah. Gets a Claudio Secoy. So he wants unification. So here's the way the champions lay out. Let me pull up the rankings here. My bad, a little bit discombobulated here. There we go, to give you a visual representation of what's going on. All right, now this situation is weird. So as I said, Badou Jack and Noel McCallion are going to be fighting to unify whatever's going on with the WBC situation. They have 3 champions. Jack is the full champion, former champion in recess. Now McCallion is the champion in recess. Not, well, the status, he did have it. And Ron Rosecki, who was originally supposed to fight Badou Jack, but then got an injury, so McCallion stepped in. Both are Don King fighters. And that's the WBC situation. WBO, as you can see, WBA is Gilberto Ramirez and Jayo Pataya is the IBF. So it's looking like, in a perfect world, we'll see Badou Jack, if he beats Noel McCallion, go on to fight Jayo Pataya if he beats the guy he's fighting, Secoy, or however you pronounce his name, in a stay busy fight over in Australia. And then we can see a unification of all titles for undisputed. Let's see realistic time frame. Let's say Opataya and Jack, if they both win, of course, fight. It is April, the end of April. Let's say September, October. Before this time next year, we could see a undisputed champion. Meanwhile, that will give Gilberto Ramirez some time to, I guess, fight his. I mean, mind you, also you can swap any of those fighters as well. Gilberto Ramirez can go fight Badou Jack or Opataya as well. But as you can see, the cruiserweight division is really top heavy right now, and I'm not sure what's going on with the WBO situation because he beat Chris Billum Smith to win that WBO title, and that was in November. So he doesn't have a mandatory. The point is, where we should, by no later than this time next year, see another undisputed champion in the division. Zurdo Ramirez is really like suited for cruiserweight. And here's the thing, you know what it is? It's like he doesn't have to cut weight. So he's walking into the ring at his normal like walk around size, or he may have to put a few pounds on, who knows. But he's always been a big dude. Remember, he started his career at 160 pounds, didn't he? Let's go back. Yes, he did. Look, yes, he did. He was around 160 at 6'3", by the way. I mean, I know we got Sebastian Fendoras walking around here, but still, when you're fighting at 160 and you're, above 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", that's considered tall. So Dorticos, as you can see, 27-2 with 25 KOs, 39 years old. He's been around for some time. Lost a close decision to Breedis. I don't remember if this was really close on paper. I believe I covered this fight. I covered every fight in the World Boxing Super Series. Remind me how this fight went. Was this really a 114? Because you have two 117, 111s. But I don't remember. I remember it being a good fight, competitive, but I'm not sure if it was worthy of a majority decision. Marat Gassiev, by the way, he's still floating around. I remember when he got iced, I covered that fight as well. But as you can see, he's been, and he stretched out Andrew Tabiti. That video is also, I have post-fight videos for these fights, by the way. But since, as you can see, he's had some inactivity. For example, one fight in 2019. Well, this was the World Boxing Super Series, so we're not going to count this. Let's talk about after the World Boxing Super Series. One fight in 2021, one fight in 2022, no fights 2023, one fight 2024, and then by the time he gets in against Gilberto Ramirez, he's going to be on a year layoff again. So, of course, Ramirez should be going into the fight a favorite. But Dorticos has some power behind him. So, you can put it this way. He's going to be dangerous while he's in there. And let's see. Yes, he's knocked out his last three opponents since losing. The last time he went the distance in a win was against Masternak. And he's been around forever as well. He's still out there kicking around. So, me personally, I want to see, like, the fight to make in the Cruiserweight division is Ramirez versus Jaya Pataya. That's the fight to make. And Alexander Usyk, even though I don't think it's going to happen, he's put out there the idea after he beat Tyson Fury in the second fight that making fighting at heavyweight's been a lot for him because he's got to eat. He's got to eat up to the weight, and he floated the idea of going back down to cruiserweight. So it would be like I can't even imagine having Usyk being the lineal champion. Even though he may not have the belt, he'll be viewed as the heavyweight undisputed champion, fighting the undisputed of the cruiserweight division. That would be crazy to be a two-time undisputed after going up to be heavyweight champion, going back down. Because I still would have Usyk beat Jaya Pataya. There's still a big question mark around Jaya Pataya. He's good, but there still is not enough there, outside of what, old man Breedis. Is not enough there yet. He's good. He passes the eye test, but we still need to see a little bit more. As far as Gilberto Ramirez is concerned, well, remember, he's a 168-pounder. And also, let's not forget, he lost to Dimitri Bivol. So I think that Usyk would have a good time with him as well. With that being said, we're going to be here covering this fight. We're going to be here covering this card, of course. You can expect a couple of more fights to be added to this card. This is a Golden Boy MVP event, and it's going to be on DAZN, not Netflix or anywhere else. And what to look out for as we're leading up to this card is, as I said in my Chavez Jr. Paul video, Jake Paul is also likely going to get a ranking. If he beats Chavez Jr., he's probably going to get a ranking in the sanctioning bodies. WBC, WB, IBF, top 15 ranking. And they were already floating around the idea when they announced this fight on the DAZN broadcast this weekend on the Gabriel Fundora card with Chris Mannix interview Oscar De La Hoya, is the possibility of Jake Paul fighting Gilberto Ramirez for the title. Can you imagine? And remember, if you're ranked in the top 15, you can be picked as a voluntary. And guess what? Gilberto Ramirez, after Dorticos, is not going to have a mandatory. And if Badu Jack and Jaya Pataya fights, then he's going to have some time, Gilberto Ramirez. Who's he going to fight? So it's no secret that these guys are put on this card. Start paying attention to that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'm TstreeT Controversy with Fight View 360.